November 1st, 1913. For the first time in school history, Notre Dame, a small school from the Midwest, travels to West Point, New York, to take on the perennial power of the East, the Army Cadets. Using only 12 players, Notre Dame coach Jesse Harper substitutes just one time during the entire game, a game that ultimately changed the course of college football.
That first game was probably only attended by about 3,000 people. We don't believe there was a paid gate. It was just the cadets and other interested parties that attended. There was a smattering of newspaper reporters.
Those reporters documented a stunning new brand of football, never before seen in the East.
New York Times, November 1st. The Notre Dame 11 swept the Army off its feet in the plains this afternoon and buried the soldiers under a 35-13 score. The Westerners flashed the most sensational football that has been seen in the East this year, baffling the cadets with the style of open play and perfectly developed forward pass. The Eastern gridiron has not seen such a master of the forward pass as Charlie DeRay, the Notre Dame quarterback. A frail youth of 145 pounds, as agile as a cat and as restless as a jumping jack. DeRay shot forward passes with accuracy into the outstretched arms of his ends, Captain Rockney and Gus Hurst, as they stood poised for the ball often as far as 35 yards away. DeRay fell back and the Notre Dame team spread out across the field. DeRay hurled the ball high and straight for 25 yards, and Rockney grabbed the ball out of the air and was downed in midfield. DeRay lost no time in shooting another pass to Pilska, which netted 35 yards. The ball went high and straight, and Pilska was far out of Army's reach when he caught it. The partisan Army crowd for the moment forgot that Army was being defeated, and burst forth in a sincere cheer for the marvelous little quarterback DeRay and his record toss of 35 yards. DeRay kept at his great work and had his ends and halfbacks dashing madly around the field chasing his long throws. Notre Dame's ends and halfbacks were so thoroughly schooled in this play that it worked with machine-like smoothness.
While DeRay completed 14 of 17 passes for nearly 250 yards, fullback Ray Eichenlaub took advantage of the baffled Army defense, leading a balanced running game which dominated the fourth quarter. Still, it was the aerial attack of DeRay that is forever remembered.
Rockney has a description. He said previously, think of a medicine ball, and people just shoving a medicine ball from their chest to the next fellow, catching it in his chest. That's what the forward pass looked like before that day. On that day, they really showed the world of college football what was possible.
The trip to West Point was a landmark in college football history, and the beginning of a historic rivalry between two respected foes. After the game, Harper sent a letter of gratitude to the cadets.
My dear Lieutenant Sultan, I want to thank you very much for the kind treatment you gave our team. The boys appreciated immensely everything you did and have worlds of praise for the Army students and officers. I sincerely hope that none of your men were severely injured in the game Saturday. You can rest assured that all the Notre Dame football men, students, and faculty will be pulling hard for the Army when they play the Navy. When you get ready to arrange your schedule for next year, I will be glad to take the matter up if you wish to have a game with us. Again, thanking you for your hospitality. I beg to remain, yours very truly, Jesse Harper.
My dear Mr. Harper, your team made a most favorable impression on the officers and cadets here. And while defeat is of course bitter, still when the winning team is as good as yours, and when the members are such thorough, good sports and gentlemen as the Notre Dame team showed truly to be, some of the sting of defeat disappears. Hoping that we may have the pleasure of seeing you again next year, and with best wishes for the success of your team in its final games, I am, sincerely yours, Lieutenant Dan J. Sultan.
Army did see Notre Dame the following year, and for decades after that, as the Army-Notre Dame game shifted to New York City and became truly a national event.